I just want to say that President Xi and all of his representatives have been really interesting to be with. I think we have made tremendous progress in our relationship with China. My representatives have been meeting one-on-one with their counterparts from China, and it's, I think truly progress has been made. We'll be making a lot of additional progress. The relationship developed by President Xi and myself, I think, is outstanding. We look forward to being together many times in the future, and I believe lots of very potentially bad problems will be going away. So I just want to thank President Xi for being with us in the United States. It's a tremendous honor for me and all of my representatives to host the President and his representatives. And again, progress has been made. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
非常感谢我们举行的这一次中美元首会晤啊，是一次这个匠心独具的这对于这个中美关系未来发展呢，我认为具有特殊重要的意义。这个特朗普总统为我和我的代表团呢做了一个非常好的安排，给予了这个热情的接待。我们迄今为止已经做了长时间的深入的沟通，也达成了许多重要的共识。更重要的呢是我们深入的进行了了解，这个也建立了一种信任初步建立了这种工作关系和友谊我相信我们之间的话呢会不断的去巩固发展这样的一种友好关系，为推动中美关系的发展造福于两国和两国人民并且扶击世界的和平稳定我们也会做出我们的历史的尽到我们历史的责任。谢谢。
Well, I agree 100%, Mr. President, and thank you very much. And again, a tremendous honor to have you in the United States and at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable President Donald Trump. Friends from the press, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to meet all of you, together with President Trump. Let me begin by extending once again warm welcome to the President for his state visit to China. Yesterday and earlier today, the President and I have had in-depth discussions on China-US relations and major international and regional issues of mutual interest. We reviewed the important progress made in the relationship since we met at Mar-a-Lago, and we discussed how to further move forward the relationship in the months ahead in great depth, and we reached a series of new and important consensus. Our meeting is constructive and productive. I shared with the President the policies adopted at the 19th Party Congress. I conveyed China's firm commitment to deeper reform, greater opening up, and a path of peaceful development, and China's desire to expand converging interests with other countries and promoting coordination and cooperation among major countries. President Trump shared with me his domestic reform agenda and foreign policy priorities. The development of China and the United States is mutually reinforcing without contradicting each other. our respective success serves the common interests of both countries. We believe that facing the complex and changing international landscape, in maintaining world peace and stability, in promoting global development and prosperity, China and the United States, being two large countries, share more common interests, shoulder greater responsibility, and enjoy broader room for cooperation. A healthy, stable, and growing China-U.S. relationship is not only in the fundamental interest of the Chinese and American people, it also meets the expectations of the international community. For China and the United States, win-win cooperation is the only right choice and the pathway toward a better future. We agreed to keep in close touch through mutual visits, meetings, phone calls, and correspondence, with a view to having timely communications on major issues of shared interest. We agreed to make the most of the diplomatic and security dialogue, comprehensive economic dialogue, social and people-to-people dialogue, and law enforcement and cybersecurity dialogue, 4 high-level dialogue mechanisms, and work together for greater results out of these dialogues. We believe that China and the United States are the two largest economies and important engines of global economic growth. We need to further expand trade and investment cooperation, strengthen macroeconomic policy coordination, pursue healthy, stable, and dynamically balanced economic and trade relations. It is necessary to formulate and launch economic cooperation plan for the next phase, to have continued in-depth discussion on trade imbalance, export restrictions, investment environment, market openness, and other issues, and work to support practical cooperation in energy, infrastructure, Belt and Road Initiative, and other areas. Just now, the President and I witnessed the signing of some major cooperation agreements by our businesses. During this visit, the two sides signed over $250 billion of commercial deals and two-way investment agreements. According to China's timetable and roadmap for opening up, China has announced a number of steps to promote market access. This speaks volume of the broad space for further economic and trade cooperation between the two countries, which would deliver great benefits to the two peoples. We agreed to expand exchange and dialogue between our two militaries at various levels. Realized at an early date the visit by U.S. Secretary of Defense to China and a senior high-level Chinese military delegation to the U.S., and work to ensure the success of the first Joint Staff Dialogue Mechanism and the Disaster Management Joint Exercise and academic exchanges. We agreed to strengthen law enforcement and cybersecurity cooperation. The two sides reaffirmed that neither wants to become a safe haven for each other's fugitives, and will instruct competent authorities of the two countries to actively explore a long-term cooperation mechanism regarding fugitive assets recovery and repatriation of illegal immigrants. The two sides will continue the implementation of the 5-point consensus reached in 2015 to enhance cybersecurity cooperation, including the use of the Internet for terrorist purposes and tackling cybercrimes. We will deepen counter-narcotics cooperation and better protect each other's nationals and institutions in their respective countries. As two distinctive countries, our two sides may have different views or differences on some issues. This is only natural. The key is to properly handle and manage them. There is far more common interest between our two countries than differences. It is important to respect each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity, respect each other's choice of development path, and our difference. As long as the two sides commit to a constructive approach, we can put aside and diffuse differences, while at the same time build common ground and advance cooperation. We also discussed the international responsibilities our two countries shoulder. We agreed to enhance communication and cooperation on major international, regional, and global issues, and jointly seek proper resolution of relevant hotspot issues to make greater contribution to peace, stability, and prosperity of relevant regions and the world at large. On the Korean Peninsula nuclear issue, we reiterated the firm commitment to achieving denuclearization of the peninsula and upholding international non-proliferation regime. The two sides will continue to fully and strictly implement UN Security Council resolutions. At the same time, the two sides commit to working toward a solution through dialogue and negotiation. And we are ready to discuss with relevant parties the pathway leading to enduring peace and stability in the peninsula and the Northeast Asia. The two sides will maintain communication and cooperation on the Korean Peninsula issue. We believe that China and the United States are countries with important influence in the Asia-Pacific. As I said to the President, the Pacific Ocean is big enough to accommodate both China and the United States. The two sides need to step up communication and cooperation on Asia-Pacific affairs, foster common friends, build constructive interactions, and jointly maintain and promote peace and stability and prosperity in the region. We also discussed the Middle East, Afghanistan, and other issues, and agreed to deepen cooperation on counterterrorism, non-proliferation, nuclear security, and stronger support to UN peacekeeping operations. We both believe that friendship between our peoples is the foundation for the sustained growth of China-US relations, and we agreed to further promote people-to-people exchange. We will expand student exchange program, hold China-US Young Makers competition every year, and open additional Young Makers exchange centers in both countries. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, President Trump's state visit is a successful and historic visit. Together, the two of us have set out the direction and draw up the blueprint for China-US relations in the coming period. We will work with the United States and act on the consensus we reached, seek further progress in China-US relations to bring greater benefits to our peoples and people across the world. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now, President Trump, you have the floor.
Thank you. President Xi, I want to thank you for that incredible welcoming ceremony earlier this morning. It was truly memorable and impressive and something I will never forget. Melania and I are honored to visit your country with its ancient history, dynamic people, and thriving culture. I also want to thank you and Madam Peng for a tour that was given to us yesterday of the very majestic Forbidden City. Your people are proud of who they are and what they have built together. And your people are also very proud of you. I want to congratulate you on the recent and very successful 19th Party Congress. Perhaps now more than ever, we have an opportunity to strengthen the relationship between our two countries and improve the lives of our citizens as long as we stand together with others, if necessary, against those who threaten our civilization. That threat will never happen. It doesn't even have a chance. As I said in my address yesterday in Seoul, the entire civilized world must unite to confront the North Korean menace. And the entire world is watching us right now. Today, President Xi, we discussed our mutual commitment to the complete denuclearization of North Korea. We agreed not to replicate failed approaches of the past, and there were many. We agreed on the need to fully implement all UN Security Council resolutions on North Korea and to increase economic pressure until North Korea abandons its reckless and dangerous path. All responsible nations must join together to stop arming and financing and even trading with the murderous North Korean regime. Together we have in our power to finally liberate this region and the world from this very serious nuclear menace. But it will require collective action, collective strength, and collective devotion to winning the peace. In order to create a more secure future for all and to protect our citizens from extremism and terrorism, President Xi and I also committed to working toward a peaceful future for Afghanistan. Terrorists are a threat to all of humanity, and we will stop radical Islamic terrorism. The United States and China also face many challenges within our borders. Every year, drug trafficking destroys millions and millions of lives. Today, President Xi and I discussed ways we can enhance coordination to better counter the deadly drug trade and to stop the lethal flow of poisonous drugs into our countries and into our communities. A special emphasis will be placed on the new phenomena, fentanyl, destroying lives by the millions. We're going to be focusing on it very strongly, the President and myself. In addition to improving the safety and security of our citizens, President Xi and I discussed improving our economic relationship. We want a vibrant trade relationship with China. We also want a fair and reciprocal one. Today, I discussed with President Xi the chronic imbalance in our relationship as it pertains to trade and the concrete steps that we'll jointly take to solve the problem of the massive trade distortion. This includes addressing China's market access restrictions and technology transfer requirements, which prevent American companies from being able to fairly compete within China. The United States is committed to protecting the intellectual property of our companies and providing a level playing field for our workers. At the same time, our relationship with you and China is a very important one to me and to all of the people of our country. And just by looking at the tremendous, incredible job-producing agreements just signed by those major companies, we're off to a very, very good start. As part of our commitment to regional stability and peace, the United States also continues to advocate for reforms that advance economic freedom, individual rights, and the rule of law. The United States, working with China and other regional partners, has an incredible opportunity to advance the cause of peace, security, and prosperity all across the world. It's a very special time, and we do indeed have that very, very special opportunity. A great responsibility has been placed on our shoulders, President. It's truly a great responsibility. And I hope we can rise to the occasion and help our countries and our citizens reach their highest destinies and their fullest potentials. I want to thank you. Again, you're a very special man for your gracious hospitality. I send my warmest regards to your citizens. I honor their heritage and celebrate their great, great possibilities and potential for the future. In the coming months and years, I look forward to building an even stronger relationship between our two countries, China and the United States of America, and even closer friendships and relationships between the people of our countries. Mr. President, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable President. This concludes this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and it's a great honor. This is a very important meeting. A lot of people are looking forward to it. I know that President Xi and myself are looking forward to it, and we've also established an incredible relationship. I want to thank the President for his nice best wishes to the Bush family on behalf of a man that we all respected and liked very much, President Bush, and we very much appreciate that, Mr. President. We will be going back, I will be going back to Washington right after this dinner, and we'll be spending 3 days of mourning and 3 days of celebrating a really great man's life. So we look forward to doing that, and he certainly deserves it. He really does. He is a very special person. I spoke with Jeb and George today, and we had great conversations, and we discussed actually for quite some time the father and how much they loved him and how much that he loved them. So we are now going to start our meeting where we'll be talking about a number of topics. One topic that we'll bring up will be the fentanyl problem that we have in the United States, which is a tremendous problem. I'll be asking the President to do something about that. I think he'll be able to. If he puts that on a restricted category, we'll be able to pretty much stop it right there. That would be, to criminalize it in China would be a great thing. We'll be discussing trade. And I think at some point we are going to end up doing something which is great for China and great for the United States. And I look very much forward to the dinner. I look very much forward to the discussion, and I'm sure discussions after. But the relationship is very special, the relationship that I have with President Xi. And I think that is going to be a very primary reason why we'll probably ending up getting something that will be good for China and good for the United States. So we very much appreciate it. Please.
非常感谢，我呢非常荣幸的能够呢在这儿跟习主席见面。其实呢，我跟您可能都非常期待今天的会晤，因为我们之间有着非常特别的、特殊的这个关系。那么同时呢，我也感谢您向布什家庭和家族呢致上的良好的这个祝愿。我其实呢很快就要回到华盛顿了。那么我们呢将会进行3天的哀悼，因为他是一位伟人，还是一个非常好的人，是一个特殊的人。我其实今天呢跟他的儿子Jeb还有这个前总统布什呢通过话，那么他们都告诉我，这个父子之间呢这个情谊非常的深，爸爸爱孩子，孩子爱爸爸。那当然呢，除此之外，我们今天呢也要准备开会。那么这个是一个非常重要的会议，里头有很多的议题。那么其中的一个议题呢，就是这个跟鸦片类药物有关的。我们知道呢，这个呢可以说对美国的社会造成了很大的伤害。我希望在中国做这些犯法的人呢，也能够被绳之以法。当然，另外的一个课题是非常重要的，就是贸易。那我们非常期待能够在这个议题上展开会谈，我们之间有着非常特殊的关系，尤其是我跟习主席有着特殊的关系。我觉得也就是为什么我认为有这么一个重要的原因。今天呢，我们会取得进展，我们这个进展对美国、对中国都是有好处的，因此我非常期待今天会晤。感谢大家。
尊敬的特朗普总统和各位美国的小朋友们，我非常高兴能够在民国3日有这样的一个会议，这体现了我们的个人友谊。在我们上一次见面之后，有一段时间了，这段时间里 这个世界上还是有发生一些事情。中美两国呢都是大国，都有重要影响力，我们都承担着为这个世界和平繁荣的很大的责任。我们的合作才有利于推动这个世界的和平繁荣。所以呢，今天我与总统先生在这里会晤，我们将就我们共同关心的问题交换看法，特别是呢，我们应该共同规划两国关系的未来。在此呢，我也收到了这个老布什总统的与世长辞，我也感到非常伤心因为他对中美关系友好已经做出了很重要的贡献。我在今天上午呢，已经这个中国外交部向特朗普总统发了一份由你转达他家属的电信，表达我的想法。谢谢。
Honorable President Trump, dear secretaries of the American side, well, it is indeed a great pleasure to have this meeting with all of you in the city of Buenos Aires. And I believe this is a manifestation of our personal friendship. It has been quite a while since our previous meeting, and over the past recent period, a lot of things have taken place in the world. China and the United States, two important countries with major influence in the world, shoulder important responsibilities for international peace and prosperity. Only with cooperation between us can we serve the interest of world peace and prosperity. And that is why I look forward to this meeting between the two sides, where we could have exchange of ideas on issues of mutual interest, and also especially to jointly map out the future for China-US relationship. I'm also greatly saddened by the passing away of the late President Bush, who is someone who had made an important contribution to China-US friendship and relationship during his lifetime. And this morning, via the Chinese Foreign Ministry, I have sent a message of condolences to President Trump, and hopefully you will convey our condolences to the Bush family. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's very nice, and I appreciate it. I want to just add that Air Force One will be taking myself and a large group of our people back to Washington. It will then be reset, and it will be sent to Houston to pick up the casket of President Bush.